Hi, my friends. Today I want to present you a new story. Enjoy watching it. I never expected to see Michelle's name in my mail again. Not after everything. Not after the divorce. Yet there it was, bold and unmissable, the return address of her lawyer's stamp on the envelope. I stood in my apartment's doorway, gripping the letter with a tension that spread up my arms. My gut twisted. This wasn't a friendly check-in. That much was obvious. I shut the door behind me, my mind already racing with worst-case scenarios as I tore the envelope open. The words hit me like a punch to the gut. Summons for child support. My breath caught in my throat. Michelle and I lived together for 2 years and we never had the thought of having children. She made that clear time and time again when we were married. She wasn't ready. She wanted to focus on her career. And now, 2 years after our divorce, she was suddenly claiming I had a child. I dropped onto my couch, staring at the paperwork. My pulse pounded in my ears as I scanned the details. A 1-year-old boy, my alleged son. I grabbed my phone and called the one person I knew would have answers, James Garcia, my attorney and oldest friend. Tristan? He answered after one ring. What's up? She's suing me, I said, my voice sharp. Michelle, she's filed for child support. A beat of silence. Then a low exhale. I was afraid of this. I sat up straighter. You knew? I heard some whispers, James admitted. She's been asking around about legal loopholes. Damn it, I muttered, running a hand through my hair. This is insane. We never had kids, James. Never. I know, he said. And that's exactly why we're going to fight this. First thing, we demand a DNA test. But Tristan, listen to me. Don't take this lightly. Some states have laws that can trap you if you don't act fast. I gritted my teeth. She's banking on that, isn't she? Absolutely, he said grimly. She's counting on you panicking or missing deadlines. If the court rules before you prove paternity, you could end up legally responsible, even if the kid isn't yours. I stared at the papers in my hands, my heart hammering. Michelle knew exactly what she was doing, and that smirk of hers, the one I remembered all too well, flashed through my mind. I wasn't going to let her win. File the request, I said firmly. We get that DNA test. Already ahead of you, James replied. And Tristan? Yeah, this isn't just about money. If she's lying about this, there's a reason, and I guarantee you, it's not good. A chill ran down my spine. I barely had time to process the absurdity of Michelle's accusations before James, my lawyer, set the wheels in motion. We need to dig deeper, he said firmly. Something doesn't add up. I nodded, still gripping the court summons in my hand. She's lying. But why now? What's her angle? James leaned back in his chair, his fingers steepled. If she filed without DNA evidence, she was hoping for a default judgment. But I have a feeling this isn't the first time she's done something like this. That night, sleep was elusive. My mind raced with memories of Michelle, our whirlwind romance, the cracks that surfaced, the divorce. Had I missed the signs? The next morning, Marcus called with an update. I ran a background check. You're not the first man she's pulled this on. There was another, Lucas Bullman. He was paying child support up until 6 months ago. My stomach turned. And let me guess, he's not the father either. We don't know yet, James admitted. But I reached out to him. He's willing to talk. Later that day, I met Lucas at a quiet cafe. He was a few years older, with weary eyes that told me he had been through hell. He shook my hand, his grip firm, but cautious. She did the same thing to me, he said without preamble. Claimed I was the father, took me to court, won child support. I paid for years before I started questioning things. I leaned in. What made you doubt? Lucas exhaled sharply. The kid looked nothing like me. I demanded the test and she resisted. When I finally got one, it proved I wasn't the father. She disappeared right after. A chill ran down my spine, and now she's after me. Lucas nodded. Looks like it. Determined to expose Michelle's scheme, James and I filed an emergency motion for a court-ordered DNA test. When she was served, Michelle didn't react with fear. Instead, she smirked, as if she still had the upper hand. But I wasn't backing down. This time, I murmured, the truth will come out. Finally, The results of the DNA test came, and as a result, it turned out that I was not the father of the child for whom she filed for alimony. The moment Michelle realized the walls were closing in, she switched tactics. Just days after the court ordered another DNA test for Lucas, she showed up at his apartment unannounced, her eyes red and swollen, as though she had been crying for hours. "Lucas, please. You don't have to do this," she pleaded, gripping the edge of his doorframe. "I just found out I'm pregnant again, with your child. Remember 3 months ago we started a relationship again for a while? So here I am again expecting a baby, your baby." Lucas stiffened. "That's convenient timing," he said coldly. "A second child right when you're about to get exposed. I'm not falling for it." She sniffled, her lower lip trembling. "I swear on my life, Lucas, this baby is yours. I know we had problems, but don't let them take away our chance at a family." He exhaled sharply. "You already tricked me once. I won't be fooled again. If you were telling the truth, you wouldn't be so scared of a test. Now get out." With no other choice, Michelle left, her hands clenched into fists. Her next move was even more audacious. The next morning, Tristan received a frantic call from his attorney. Michelle filed the motion to delay the hearing, claims she's suffering emotional distress from her new pregnancy. "We need to be ready to fight this." Tristan groaned, pacing his living room. "She's really playing every card, huh? Can the court actually delay the case for this?" "Unlikely, but we need to counter her claims fast. If she buys herself enough time, she might find a way to manipulate the results." When they arrived at the courthouse the following week, Michelle was seated on the bench, dramatically cradling her stomach. Her lawyer stood, announcing, "My client is with child and in no condition to endure such distress. We request a postponement until after her pregnancy." Tristan's attorney immediately objected. "Your Honor, my client will not stand by while false claims prolong this deception. We demand proof of pregnancy before any delay is considered." The judge leaned forward. "Ms. Porter, are you willing to provide medical verification today?" Michelle stiffened, her face paling. I don't have my records yet. It's too soon." "Then the trial proceeds as scheduled," the judge ruled firmly. Michelle's hands curled into her lap, her eyes darting between Lucas and Tristan. She was running out of time, and we all knew it. The courtroom was tense. Michelle sat stiffly in her chair, her fingers tapping nervously against the polished wood of the plaintiff's table. Across from her, I exchanged a glance with Lucas Bullman, who now seemed just as eager as I was to see this charade come to an end. Judge Harrison adjusted his glasses. "Ms. Porter, the DNA results from the second test have confirmed that Mr. Bullman is also not the father of your child. Given the circumstances, do you have any reasonable explanation for these discrepancies?" Michelle's lips parted, but no words came. The attorney beside her shifted uncomfortably. Michelle started, then faltered. Her usual bravado was slipping. "There must be a mistake." The judge sighed. "That's the second mistake in this case. The court has also reviewed your past filings, and it appears this is not the first time you've received financial support under questionable circumstances." A hushed murmur rippled through the courtroom. Lucas leaned forward. "Your Honor, I stopped paying because something fell off. Michelle never let me see the kid, and now it makes sense why. How many other men has she done this to?" The prosecutor stood, flipping through a thick file. "Your Honor, an investigation has revealed that Ms. Porter has previously obtained child support from at least 3 other men, none of whom were confirmed to be the biological father." The color drained from Michelle's face. "That's not true," she blurted out. I was just..." The judge raised a hand. "Enough." He turned to the bailiff. "Ms. Porter is now under investigation for fraudulent claims. Until further notice, all financial support payments are to be halted." Michelle shot up from her seat. "No, you can't do this. I have children to feed." The prosecutor's voice was firm. "Ms. Porter, the court is also aware that all 5 of your children are living with your sister, not under your care." A stunned silence fell over the room. Michelle's hands trembled as she realized the game was over. The house of cards she had so carefully constructed had collapsed in full view of the court. I exhaled slowly. For the first time in years, I felt like justice was finally being served. The courtroom was silent as Judge Harrison straightened his glasses and turned to Michelle. She stood frozen, her once defiant expression crumbling into panic. "Miss Porter," the judge said sternly, "your repeated fraudulent claims have wasted court resources and unjustly burdened innocent men. The court orders full reimbursement of legal fees to both defendants, and this case is referred for criminal prosecution." Michelle's breath hitched. "Please, Your Honor, I was just trying to take care of my kids." The prosecutor didn't flinch. "You abandoned those children with your sister while collecting support from multiple men." He glanced at the thick file on the desk. "This is not desperation, Ms. Porter. It's fraud." Lucas let out a low whistle. "Guess you finally ran out of lies." I folded my arms, watching as the bailiff approached Michelle. For years, she had controlled the narrative, playing the victim while deceiving everyone around her. But now, the truth had finally caught up. As she was escorted out, Michelle shot me a glare filled with hatred, but beneath it, I saw something else: fear. Outside the courtroom, Lucas shook my hand. "We dodged a bullet, huh?" I nodded, more like a loaded gun. As I stepped into the fresh air, a wave of relief washed over me. This nightmare was over, and this time, Michelle wouldn't get away with it. Friends, what do you think of this story? Write your opinion in the comments. Would you like more stories? Don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell button so you don't miss any videos. See you tomorrow.